thank you to the Wayanad team. Uh, Always enthusiastic on WhatsApp and everywhere. Why don't we kick it off? Over
Yeah,
to Jonathan and um,
I,
Tripathi ji if he's also here. Athar.
Atharv is here.
I don't know if he's there. I saw a name, but it went. Anyway, Chandan, over to you. I
Yeah,
think this will be a lot of questions coming in. I have the Google Sheet as well, fully populated.
yeah,
So
you
get
populate.
started.
Yeah, I am just sending the YouTube channel where the recording will be.
अच्छा ठीक
Yeah,
है.
okay, just a minute. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so we'll be like going outside for an half an hour after the session when the recording will go. He can see the recording through this channel in the chat.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, attend the session till then because it will be a very great session. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, no problem. Thanks.
yeah. Okay. So I guess Mansi, are you here? I guess so. Okay, 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 okay. You can start the recording. No issue, Mansi. You can start the recording. Um. Okay. So, uh, how I can call you, like sir or like
अरे
Naval?
Naval is fine यार, एकदम first
Okay,
class. Naval is
okay,
fine.
okay, okay. Okay. Okay, then okay, I'm just admit. Okay, then the recording has started, so you can start your session.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah,
I know it's a bit late here in India, but there are some people who actually also wanted to join in from Middle East. A lot of our folks are there, so I thought कि थोड़ा late में रखते हैं. Let me know if you folks can see my screen. I'll share my screen for a while, and then I'll also answer some questions. I had floated a form in the afternoon. पता नहीं कितने लोगों ने देखा या नहीं देखा. Did people have time to go through the Google form and fill in your questions? Yes, no, maybe. नहीं याद है. Okay. So what I had done initially was I had made a group of all the previous year question and I had put them all in one place. So I'll first show you those. I'll first show you some good resources that you can access, and because I feel that you will have a lot of questions. So first, maybe what 5-10 minutes, I'll set up some resources and stuff, and then I'll open it up for questions, and we'll have this as an interactive session. Okay, so we'll not have this like a one-way this thing, and we'll prepare. So those who are doing it, those who have exams tomorrow, um, especially in the morning. So we'll spend some time looking at PYQs. So how many of you, by raise of hands or by responding in the chat, have seen this portal or have heard about this portal? अच्छा काफी लोगों ने देखा. Animesh is here. I know Animesh has seen this. So Animesh is our uh, one of my students of my 27, I guess, good 27, yeah. So yeah, so this is the link which is there in the chat. So Animesh can be a single point of contact from all of you, I guess. And Deepak is also one of my students. Daksh I haven't met, but hello. So I guess this link it's there in the chat will be a very good source for all of you tonight, and if you want to revise a bit tomorrow morning. Scroll through there. So this is a lot of people who are behind the scenes working for all of you. I am also a name here with Omji and Harsh and Pranay and everyone here, and we are part of a team that help people who are writing the Python exam again, or as well as open to help people who are writing Python for the first time. यहाँ पे you'll find any question. Please feel free to interrupt and speak. No need to raise your hand and stuff. Or I know it's a big call, so maybe raise hand, just say hello, and then I'll stop talking and you can start. Acha. So here there is this resource which is made, which is a brainchild of all the buddies like me. So there are like 30, 40 novels in Python who are all buddies. So Anirban is one, and then there are all Harsh and Pranay. So we have all made this for you. Admit one guest. Can someone admit these people because my screen is a bit full? Is Wayanad people here or they have left? I hope someone from Wayanad is still here. Chalo. So if you click on this thing, it will open a nice Google Doc for you, and this doc has like a ton of content, and these are all relevant for our last night revisions. Someone can. This link is not working, sir. This link is not working. Why is this link not working? Can anyone else check if this link is working for them? Okay, just one sec. Just remove that auth user one maybe, because you might have been. Try this one only. अच्छा it's working for Ajay I guess huh अच्छा चलो nice ठीक है so auth user one might be sometimes when you are logged in with two Google accounts because I have my Gmail account as well configured so sometimes it chooses my IIT one address. I can see a lot of these flowers coming in. I think these are all students from today's class. So what we have done is there is CSR, Chhatrapal Singh Rajput, I guess. He has put in this one. Anirban has put in something here as well. There's some Python textbook here. So just browse like whatever suits you, whatever is your taste. There's a Python cheat sheet here, revision sheet here. And I think these two resources will be available for you folks tomorrow in the exam. And I have confirmed with the Python course team that if you click on these during exam, and if it shows you one tab navigation, it will not count as a violation of exam code or stuff, right? And of course I put this in the all 27 in the group note of 27 because they were in touch with me. For others as well, this is an information, and this would be there I guess in almost all the portal. See in the bottom, you can see this Python tutor and stuff. So this will be there in exam, right? So for you folks to try it out and see how it works and stuff. Okay, so let me go back and just show you some more resources. This is again the revision sheet and stuff. If we go back to the portal, that this is where what our the entire group of 30 40 people, the buddies, what we have done is that we have taken up all the last year OPPs. Okay. अच्छा question. अच्छा क्या question है? Can you if this is I can answer some MLP questions, but yeah, this is for Python. Python डाला था ना किसी ने, चिरंतन ने डाला होगा शायद. I think this is for Python. But if you stay back, I can
Yeah,
answer a
it's
couple of them.
like Python OPP, not MLP OPP. In the like mail and post, there is like clear. Okay, Abhishek, this is not MLP. This is Python OPP.
We can answer MLP questions at the end, or if you can put it in the chat. So all of us here we are in degree levels. We have covered MLP, but this is primarily focused towards Python. Okay. So what we have done is, if you go, if those who have access to this portal, I think both repeaters as well as current term students will have access to this, and we would have seen like all of these बहुत सारे OPPs हैं यहाँ पे. So each OPP has 7 questions, section 1, section 2, 2 to each, and then 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 7. So what we have done is we have answered all the questions, and it's a collective effort, and we have put them as nice PowerPoint. So this is 24 OPP1, this is problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. So suppose you click one of these, I think it should open a Google Drive kind of link for you. Just check if these links work for you. If these don't work for you, please let me know. Right? Something like this should open when you click. For example, the first one, Kubra ma'am is a course team and folks, and you would have like these. And if you click one of these, it will open up something like this. And then each one has like a brief description of the problem, and then it has some flowchart and stuff for you folks to practice, and then actual code that works. And what we have done for all the students is that we have given 2 approaches to solve every problem. So not just one way of solving it. For example, this problem is odd length palindrome. So you have to take a string and return true if it's S is a palindrome of odd length, whatever. So what we have done is first we defined what is palindrome, some cases when it will work, when it will not work, some decision tree, and then we have given one code that works, and then a simpler approach which doesn't require a lot of Python knowledge, and then a very complicated, very um, tight, if we can say, very short and very compact approach to solve the same problem. So there are two ways to solve the same problem. We have given these both. This is such a sample, a good sample of questions. So if I take a step back, so there are seven questions for each of the exam, and if I take another step back, there are 12 such OPPs. And where can you find these OPPs? If you go to your Seek portal, you can find all the questions of the OPPs here. One, two, three, four, five, six, whatever, right? And I think we don't have the solutions to NPP because it came later. But I guess somewhere we have answered them. If we haven't answered, there are some recordings out there, or we can take a couple of them today as well. Not a problem. I guess NPPs have the solutions given, so you can take a look here as well. What else? So we showed the revision content here, Google Doc with a lot of material. We showed you all the decks here. So they're like 12 sevens are 84 questions here. So with that as the, what do you say, as the backdrop, that you know where the good materials are, where all the previous year questions are solved. Let's come back to our Seek portal, right? So and then we'll take maybe couple of PYQs and warm the class up. So warm the class up or warm the Gmeet up. So how many of you folks see this and feel that, yeah, I can do this? If you see this question,
Yes, sir, I can do it.
cha, very nice. So Shantan has raised a hand. Shantan, do you want to ask a question, or is the older raised hand?
No, sir. Yeah, music, no, if we can do
Ha
also
ha
we
ha
can.
ha. Understood. Understood. Thank you. So so this is how many of you feel that there is a bit of glitch here, that you feel you will get stuck if you get this question? And usually when I teach and animation, others know that I cluster the questions into four big portions. One, that I can't understand this. For example, I can't comprehend this English समझ में नहीं आया, I can't understand this. 6 to 8 is related to file handling. Yes. Second is I couldn't understand this, but I don't know the logic behind it. I just don't know how to apply it logically. Third is I know the logic, I know the English, but I just don't know the syntax of Python. And fourth is मेरे को तीनों आता है, but one of the two random test cases are not passing, so I just don't know where I'm going wrong. So, how many of you folks feel that they can go through all four stages in these questions? या किसी को भी
I can.
you can, Ojas? So if you want to speak, because it's a complete mixture of a lot of people and we have very less time, so you can put your questions in the chat quickly. Where is the website for OPP solution? Achha. I put that in the chat now. If someone can ping, I don't know if that can be pinned or something. ये वाला पिन कर सकते हैं क्या? चिरंतन, मैं ट्राई करता हूँ. हाँ, it does it show as pinned? I don't know if I have the rights to pin it, but if I can, then it's pinned in the chat. The Daksh is saying yes. Okay. Working. Could anyone clarify? Not maybe. For debugging, can we use VS Code or any online tool? Just asking. Debugging, Abhishek, debugging during exam? Abhishek Kumar, Rajendra Kumar? Exam में कैसे VS Code use करोगे? You can use this now. This is better. अच्छा, Ansh has already answered. It's not allowed. Is that allowed? OPP में VS Code नहीं, bro. You can't even leave this tab. Even if you navigate away from the tab, it will be counted. I guess how many of you? I guess 99% of you will be giving OPP for the first time, na? You have never given a proctored exam before. Oh, wow. Oh, then you are there for good fun then. Cha. I hope you have given SCTs and you know that like you cannot navigate away from the tab, and then your navigation the way will be counted. It will be recorded. So I come from the 2021 batch, the first batch, and in my time the Seek used to run on computer. It used to record and take snapshots of my screen and send it back to IIT Madras server. Now it's inbuilt into the portal, so you cannot use VS Code. That question it doesn't arise. The clipboard is disabled, and a lot of things, a lot of anti-cheat measures are deployed. Uh, so there's no chance of using VS Code. But yeah, if you want to use some kind of debugging, then why don't you use this itself as debugging? Um, for example, if you don't know, I was solving some question today, I guess, right? And we use a lot of debugging. 2021 May set 5 years solving today, I guess. Mm, yeah, some of this kind of stuff, right? So if you want to play around and understand how these patterns are printing, you can say make one string, print it, see the output here in the test cases, and then see the actual output, and you can use that as debugging, for example, but not like proper debugging. You cannot like minimize and open VS Code and stuff. Chalo, what's next? Results are same. Switching it will be considered. Na VS Code you cannot open. Week one, no, not week 1 to 8. Week 1 to I guess 4 or 5. 1 to 6. 1 to 6. Animation has written 1 to 6. 1 to 5 says Dipanshu. Week 6 is file handling, right?
So week 8 is file handling.
Then the file handling is not there. CS 1002. 1 second. Then though I don't think file handling is there. Share this tab. Open. Yeah, 5, 6, 7 basic collections in Python. Week 9 is file operations. I don't know. This is there in our IIT Madras portal. And I also have this is January till week 8 is released. Introduction to, so week 8 is file handling internally. I don't think week 8 is covered. It's there till somewhere around this one. I hope all of you folks have tried these functions. These will be pretty handy, and dictionaries and stuff, and solve these GRPAs and got some answers. So what else is the question? Week 1 to 5 now, 1 to 5 because week 6 to 8 are programming one. Okay, somebody has spent it. Thank you so much. Sir will be. Where can I find rules for OPP when I don't want to know what can I do, what I shouldn't do? SCT they would have given you a link, no? You haven't got a link in SCT. Okay. Check your mailer. The Python team, or even in the invite, they would have given like a big document of how OPP will be run and what your system config will be and how you'll be setting, and they will check your room and there should be any open books and something, and then you can sit with like glass of water and some couple of papers. I don't know. I gave my last OPP back to my students, user interface same as a dashboard PYQ. Yeah, it will be exactly like this. So this OPP comes in the exam.iitm.something portal.ac.in. If you click on it, something like this will open, exactly same. Just where the GRPA tool is written, the question will be there. This Python ID will be empty, and the hint option wouldn't be there in the exam. Just for your information, rules for OPP. Okay, it just is scrolling. OPP guide. Okay, somebody has given the OPP guide. And she's given Python tutor. Yes, Python tutor will be available. Santan has given the link. This is the right link. So this, if you open it, go to study.iitm. Does it open? So there will be a link tomorrow morning here, and you have to click on this and disable all your add-ons and stuff. because like I have like tons of AdBlock Plus and stuff. So try to have like the plain boring stuff, and it will ask for location and camera and so much access. So try to join a bit early, because I joined with my Mac last time, like very early, and it asked for a lot of accesses, and then I had to restart my Chrome browser. I had to like move the tab away and then join again, and it was quite a hectic thing. I think I had to go to settings and preferences, allow location access, and so a lot of things were happened. So ensure that those things do this way in time. Chalo, I think there are a lot of questions which are um, non-technical. Shall you solve a couple of problems? Do you folks have any problems to solve? I have got couple of requests. There is one request from 24F 200 7604 roll number, which says 2025 May OPP1 set 5 section 2 2. This is what one such request is. 2025 May OPP1 set 5. This is this is solved. I think this is Isha Haldar's set, or Devina's set. Let us look it up. 2025 May OPP1. Uh, 2025 Jan May OPP1. What this set 5 question 2. Debajyoti Mishra's set is here. 5 question 2 must be section 1. Okay. I hope someone who asked this question is in the call. Question 2. Okay. Programming in Python. What the question is? Okay, you have an expression x plus y z plus w, and you have to return back the formula. So you have to replace. Understood. So you have to replace the comma in the equation. So there is a arithmetic equation given. You have to replace the left part of the equation and the plus, and then convert all the ax plus by plus cz, and get all the coordinates. Couple of things that will help you is input dot split. Usually is split by a particular term, or expression dot replace. Will the link be available at least 1 hour before exam time? Yes. Okay. Message. Okay. There is. They want. Okay, we'll take doubt later. Acha. Okay, we'll take the doubts later. Done. So, those who have doubts and suggested questions, I'll mail them. I'll send them the links later on. Let's quickly start with the revision. Okay. So we'll start with CSR's link. If you folks have access to this Notion page, please open it. It does have a good so it does have a good set of resources. First is number and Boolean check. Section 1. So when you get the first, most of the questions that you'll get in the part 1 will be checking the property. Either you return a true or false or a computed value. For example, is a number divisible by exactly one of A or B? This is one of the most frequently asked or repeated question. I hope this tab is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. And just that CSR has put this together very well. That's the reason I'm using it. You can use any of the other resources as well. So this is one of the most frequently asked question. Um, Easiest way is take that number and use percentage operation, and if says exactly by one of A or B, then use something like not an or, like a NOR gate or an exclusive OR gate, XOR gate, right? How many of you know this, by the way, this kind of stuff, that this will work if either this is true or this is true? Did anyone get what we did here? Question says divisible by 2 or 5, for example. Then read the first question carefully and translate each of these part, like divisible by 2 or divisible by 5, into divisible means straight away percentage, find the remainder, and if the remainder is 0, then it's divisible. And there can be many ways of looking at it. They can say that sum of digits is divisible, um, or just number is divisible, or the first part of the number is divisible. So that is the way to manipulate the number. But at the end, they want to know that you can apply this formula or not. ये वाला करना आता है कि नहीं आप लोगों को? Can you do num percentage A or num percentage X and Y, and then compute and then return value as true and false? How many of you feel that you can approach the first one? This itself will get you 10 marks out of 40. You feel comfortable. A lot of people feel. Anyone who is not comfortable, please zoom in, sir. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, you zoom. And actually, I could have opened it my Notion as well, but is it better now? Is it zoomed up enough? Notion page link, please. A Notion page link. Okay. Come on, see. Come on, V. Okay, it's here. Anyone who has, anyone who cannot solve this problem, and we can look at a couple of previous year. Okay, a couple of previous year questions. The first questions are exactly these. Like, is it even or divisible by 5? Sum of squares, absolute difference. So you need to be very comfortable in handling some very simple operations. Any questions? No questions. Can you go to next concept in revision? Chat is empty. Yes. I struggle with pattern and matrix type questions. Yes. Remove that bar with a warning. Removed. Yeah, we'll go to section 3, pattern printing, and that as well. Pattern printing is very easy. Print line by line, and matrix. I think the phone unlock questions and those, they're also we have to write 2 loops and then um, run through each element of the loop. We'll look at section 3 as well. I'm just trying to cover section 1 and 2 first, because that will have like what, 3 plus 2 5 questions. So we'll have 30 plus 30 60 marks secured. So that means entire class here will be getting at least what, C, at least here in exam, and then we can go for next 40 marks for as well. So we'll focus a bit more on section 1 and 2. So I have a commitment from everyone that if someone gives you a question which says is even or divisible by 5, then everyone here can solve this question. Something like this: check positive, odd, or negative even. This is 2024 September OPP1. Write a function that checks if an integer is either a positive odd number or a negative even number. You folks can write a simple return statement. Return n. Someone help me. It has to be like 3 or 4 characters. Someone is writing in the chat. Okay, greater than 0. Okay. सबको उसी में दिक्कत है. I know all of us. Portion for OPP1 bit confused. Hardik Kochar. Week 1 to 6. 1 to 6. Someone says 1 to 5. Sixth one is a bit on the till dictionaries and stuff. week 6 anyway. It's like they have just given you, if you see on the screen, they have just given you some this stuff, huh? Some programming stuff. They have not taught you anything. Till week 5 they have taught you. They have taught you dictionary and matrix multiplication. So yeah, this is all there. Week 6 में तो कुछ पढ़ाया नहीं है आप लोगों ने. Week 6 is only these questions, and then from week 7 is also nothing else but questions. A lot of practice questions. From week 8 they are not, I think they are teaching you new stuff. So then week 5 and 6 there is no difference only. There is no new concept being taught in week 6. Yes, no, maybe. Is that week 6 and 7 is revision. Thanks, Manish. So that is settled now. At 1 to 5 and 1 to 6 is same. Ansh has written if n is greater than 0 and this, or n less than 0 and n percentage 2 equal to 0. So, yes. So what Ansh has written in the chat in one line, and you can return here is positive, odd, or negative even. Something of that sort. This is something that you folks can do. Okay, let's rush to the next one. Something like this. Even and second last digit is 2. So literally this shows that what exactly you have to write. Even, that means you see even, you think n percentage 2 equal to 0, and then close the bracket. And is literally a and d. Second last digit is 2. You can use some trick here. He has used absolute num. Some of the students of my class used. I don't know if he remembers or not. But what students in my class did was that they just took a string of this and then took -2. Just take str of num and then take -2, so you get the second last thing equal to 2, or int of str of num of -2 equal to 2. Then you get the second last digit is 2 and then return. How many of you got that concept? Animesh, I guess, was there. Int, yes, str works, correct. So just convert into integer and then equal to. So there are many ways of doing this. So these are like KBC, I don't know what, early 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees questions that you have to get it through as quickly as possible. This is like, what is your name? So getting 20 should be easy. First 30, or first 30 plus 15, 45, 3 questions in section 1 and the first question in section 2 are that easy that everyone should pass. Then we are looking at S and A. Those who want to go towards literally scoring an S in the exam. Beautiful, Ritik Kumar, very nice. They told you to use modulo or floor. Yes. So there are many ways of approaching this. There's no exactly one way, but you should know that if the one doesn't work, you can use another way as well. When you need to check divisibility and multiple number, check divisibility to the biggest number first. Yeah, this is one hack that you need to know. And if you want to check the divisibility by 4, then don't check by 2 first, because then everything will pass by 2 and then come to 4. Also, sometimes you have to learn how to use break statements at the appropriate places. If you have checked something, divisibility, incremented something, then use break and come out of the loop, because you don't need to go to other conditions. So there are some easier ways to look into, but this is these two examples and the concept here, which is looking at the keyword for the section 1 questions, even, divisible, both, exactly one, decreasing, and then looking at exactly English, like these operators like or, and can give you quick idea of what exactly you have to do. So then just convert even, divisible, both, exactly one. So some people still like to do flag, like if this is true then flag is equal to 1, if flag equal to 1 then do something. That's also the hard working manual labor way of solving it, but it's possible. Use this flag is equal to flag is equal to flag plus 1. If flag is equal to 1 and less than 2, then only 1 is true. There are many ways of solving exactly one condition. One is the XOR. XOR is when 1 is true and other is false. When both are dissimilar, then XOR condition works. And the most beautiful way of looking at this is this example. So when the two things are dissimilar, then either one will be 0, one will be 1. It's a binary system. It's not a quantum or a qubit system, so it only has two states. So either this will be one or this will be one. So this is a bit intelligent way of solving it. Decreasing is something that you can look at that slowly as you go towards a forward part of revision. You will find user functions like sorted on the list, and then you have to use decreasing as true, increasing as true. So there are many ways of looking at that decreasing function, but at this point of time for section one, um, these three steps will and the fourth one, combining conditions, will get you through. Any questions? Any difficulties in understanding this? सर प्लीज सेट की ऑपरेट्स की रिवीजन करवा दो. ओके, विल डू इट. आप कुछ क्वेश्चंस दे दीजिए मनीष. कैन यू पुट लाइक सम PYQs? कैन यू लाइक ओपन दीज थिंग्स? This is for Manish. Can you open like one of these previous year question and then select one question where there was a set problem, you know, while I'm covering the rest of the portion, and put this, Kisa, can you cover this year this problem one, you know, then it will be easier, it will be useful for all of us. Okay. Lot of basics need to be cleared. I forgot operations like set method for list. Set is like unique, na? So when I get set such any set method to use, which I don't know what to do, then sir, set method to use. We'll come to set. We'll come to set. Usually comes in section 2. We're coming to section 2, Ritik. Will it show test cases passed? Of course it shows test cases passed. You will get some partial marks as well if some test cases are passed. Where can I get this PDF? Which PDF you're talking about? All the PDFs are there in that pinned link. A pinned link, there are all the previous year questions. And questions, we have all the answers. They told you module. Achha, till then I have covered. Just go through it if you are getting answer. He's answering someone. Okay. So let's go back to our notion. So section 1 is over. That means what we have done, 3 questions. 30 marks is in our bag. With some very simple operations like percentage, string operations, string, and then looking at particular index. How many? I'm assuming some bare minimum things like minus something of -2 is that you folks know, right? So so if I say yeah, somebody asked about debugging, right? So if you a very elementary debugging is you can print n, for example. You want to see what the question is putting in, just print n and look at the test case. What exactly is n being supplied, right? So it is supplying 3, for example. It's also supplying 3 here, but you can play around with it here. Or you can play around with some of the lists or thing that you are doing. Someone asked for lists and set, you can print it here, and then you can look at some errors midway, and then figure out why something is coming again and again, and then start debugging by looking at this output and this output. Some people have actually also used they didn't know how to use dictionary, so they have used this. I don't know this if this command will work in exam, but some people have used this way as well to figure out the help function, and then look at the syntax of dict. So it will show you dictionary, and then they said acha for kv in iterable, that is how you can use it. So intelligent enough, they can use dict.items and all this stuff. It works here. In my time, to be very honest, I never needed to use the help function, but if it works within this thing and within this thing, if this doesn't violate the fair use policy, I don't know, the exam stuff, then go for it. There's no harm in doing it. For example, a lot of people do not know what is dict, how to access dictionary. For example, they do not know what is dict.items, right? And that gives you key value pairs, for example. They do not know a lot of stuff, so they use help function within this as well. So some ways of using, instead of VS Code, you can debug here, print something, look at here, print something, look at here, and figure out a way. Where were we? Yeah, we were here. We were looking at solving section 1 by multiple approaches. One was divisibility approach, other was this approach of looking at string, modulo, and many ways of looking at that. Next is string manipulation. So very commonly used and very prone to error, because strings are not mutable in Python. So those who are coming in from Java or C++, do be a bit cautious here. What to do, but the most frequently questions here are what to do is split, slice, check, rearrange, parse. So first see, am I checking something like if a
Excuse
string.
me, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir,
Double, sir.
actually, there is some problem. Like while just doing some questions, and sir, the test cases are getting passed. But sir, in the private test, sir, sometimes it show that out of four, there is one is test case getting passed. But in public, all the test cases getting passed. So how to get rid of this problem?
Acha, so private test cases are usually edge cases. So
Yes,
edge
sir.
cases, they are written in such a way. For example, I was discussing that in one of my class, that if the oldest person in the world is 130 years old, you go and open your Google account and what 2026, so what 1896 should be an allowed year for date of birth. But if Google doesn't allow more than 100-year-old to open as DDMMYY, it will not allow that oldest person to open an account, for example. That will be unfair, right? The oldest person living on the planet has the right to open a free Gmail account. That's a test case, right? So, but does Google look up who the oldest person living and create provisions for them to open a Gmail account? That those are the example of test cases. So if those test cases do not are they figure out that professors or tutors have figured out there are some hacks where your code will fail. So they are all
Sir,
genuine cases, uh, but they are
Thank you, sir.
hidden cases.
so
दिखाओगे
what if
अगर
my grandfather want to create account on Gym on Google, then what will happen?
come again.
Uh, like you mentioned one thing,
हाँ हाँ अगर अगर ऐसा
Google.
होगा तो आई एम pretty sure Sundar Pichai will be nice enough to go and open the account at his home only. But the point I'm saying is that the concept here
My
is
dada,
that
my grandfather, if he
huh.
want, if he
Yeah,
want to
I
open,
know, I know. If you figure out in Japan that the oldest person is 170-year-old, then I'm pretty sure Google will be kind enough to send the Google Japan head to go and open it as a nice gesture. But the point I'm saying is that there are some edge cases. They are not faults in the code. So if you have the code handy, please feel free to share it. I'll stretch it beyond the class as well, beyond 11 as well. You can share it. We can take a look. There must be some angle, some zero division by zero, or some stuff that there might be there, and then it is pretty annoying. But when you
mm,
realize what was that edge case, uh, then you get that aha moment that okay, I was doing this mistake. Trust me, these edge cases confuse everyone. We were solving
yeah,
an edge
yeah.
case today morning in our class. Okay, so this question, for example, am I checking something, return true, false, or building a new string, right? Return str. So if you're checking something, then how many of you know that you can use in? Like so suppose I say a is equal to good morning whatever, and say print uh, o in a. I don't know if this function will work, this will evaluate or not. But if this would evaluate, then this is a way to, this wouldn't, right? Yeah, this wouldn't work. But o in a, for example, oh okay, something like this. So can, do you know that you can look up a particular character inside a string by using something as in? How many of you know? Yes, no, maybe.
Sir, we are seeing PDF screen, not the code you are typing.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, sir. Your full screen is not visible. Now it is visible.
Yeah. Sorry. So for example, I was when we're talking about string handling. How many of you know that this is a function? In is a function. If you don't know, it's equally fine. For example, so this is again one of the most frequently repeated section one third question or section two first question. They will try to wrap it around in such a way that you will find it difficult. But main thing is you have to search a substring inside a main string, or they will say rotations of a string in something. So if something like this is there, um, you can look it up, and this will return true if this thing exists within here. And they can play around with it. What is the first location it is there? What is the second last location it is there? And how will you find what's the first location O is there in this element A? Let's see who can answer this in chat. The first location, it will always return the first O in it. But how will you get the index? How will you get that the second thing is O in S of O? Find O. is start with. Wow. I guess this is like most of these are like S or A students. Amazing. So the most boring and the most boring way to do is for char or ch in a if ch equal to something like this, right? And then say whatever. In my time it used to be called accumulator, but say let's for ease of this thing, let's say x is equal to 0, and say if ch equal to and then for ch in a, then call x is equal to x plus 1. The most, if I can say, primitive method, return or print x, whatever. Will this work? And then break. Work, wouldn't work. A very primitive way of solving it. Primitive and easier way of solving it. Yes, it works. Yeah, a lot of people have written some very complicated way. How to remember these methods, Ritik Kumar? These are some standard functions that you can learn. So, Ritik, if you don't know, then you can use this boring method which I just use in the. How can you use help string? I try it. Try it. It works here in Python IDE. Try it. If you are not going outside the tab, I'm pretty sure you're not violating any this stuff. Return n percentage to equal and n equal to 0 and okay, yeah. Why the intention of showing this to all of you folks is that if you don't know the function, like all the complex ones which are there in the chat, then the boring method also works. If the question says find the first location, right, then you can use this, and x is equal to 0 for ch in a, it will take g, it will check it is equal. If it is equal, then not if it's not equal, then it will go ahead, it will equal, it will print and break the for loop. You need to know that this statement is equally important. If you don't do this, then it will print the last one. It's printing this O or this O. I think it's printing this O, na? X is equal to 0, it's coming here, printing this, breaking this. If you don't do this, it will go to the next one also. First one. This call having any video? No, man. I'm not on video. But if you folks want, I can turn it on. But this call doesn't have any video. This call just has a Python screen being shared. Yeah, but we wonder if it work in OBP. I think it's Ritik is talking to Shantan, I guess. Okay, good. So this is an idea, for example, right? So there are many ways of solving this. There are some simple primitive methods of solving it as well. Hardcore, hardworking methods of solving, not using any compact, flashy functions. So this is the first step: string manipulation, checking something. Next is slicing. How many of you know string slicing? A lot of people know string slicing. It's getting break from second one. Yeah. Okay. Correct, Akash. It's getting break from second one. A lot of people know string slicing. How many of you don't know string slicing? What do you use string slicing for? Okay. Animesh doesn't know string slicing. Animesh is one of my students. I hope he has raised his hand saying that he knows string slicing. Acha, good. Okay, so a good example of is something like this. So string slicing is, you have a string. So what do you think this will print? Okay, print A. Then it's something, this says something like this. Reverses it, right? How many of you are amazed by this or are seeing this for the first time? That you can reverse a string by doing this, this, and this. What are we doing? Start, end, and then what will happen if we take -2? start from 0, end in the last one, and then even ones, odd ones, D and O, these two. So you start is empty. What will happen if you start from 1 and end in 2 and then leave this empty? So you can try this. If you have a lot of time in exam, you can have fun here. See? So default is 1. Still it will be 0, O only, because it's only one character. Nothing. Went away. Starts with 1. Slice step cannot be 0. This has to be 1. So try these things. Try this stuff. If you have not tried this till now, at least before the exam, if you do not do this, it's perfectly fine. You can again go the manual way. So if you have any question like for panel palindrome, what if you don't know? You're not comfortable with that, for example, and it's too late for you to pick it up. What do? S is equal to this. Then for I in range len A, then 1 step -1. Then we do something like S is equal to S plus. This is like absolute fundamentals if you are not comfortable with this. Here the len A, it will len A -1 because you know how the indexing works. So -1, and this maybe you can go to have to 0. Something like this, no? And then print S. I'm just trying to show that there are ways to figure out stuff. Something like this, no? Print G. Why? Chat must be logical error, limiting. -1 is equal to len -1. S gets interesting, okay? Probably no. Yep, from reverse session is recording. We will later. Yes, it is recorded. S reverses the string. Teach me the logic. I have memorized it, but I don't understand this logic. Ritik Kumar. Yeah, so the first element is start, second is end. Then there is step, no? And then you have it's just like for I is equal to here the range is something. When you start with the range, if you leave the everything else, it starts from 0 till n. But if you define n comma 0 n -1, then it's that for loop starts from n, goes till 0 in reverse. Exactly the same concept here. Sequences. Okay, Krishiv has answered it. So step is negative, so reverse, correct. So, but you have ways to accumulate all these. You can go from len A and then keep on going back. Step 1, and then come till here and then stop. So if you do not know the subscript function, the simplest way here is to just print and don't remember it by memory. This and -1. Like we do this instinctively. This is how most things work, especially in reversing string. Let's go back. Let's quickly go to section 2. Finish this one. This is reversal. Even in this indices or indices, those who are comfortable with this structure, they know start, end, then how you jump. So you start with 0, end with that len. So you have 0 and then 2 and 4 and stuff here. Or indices here, and reverse is this one. You start 0 and then you reverse it. If you're parsing a structured text, this is another question. How many of you know input dot split as a function? are comfortable with input as a split function. This is one of the most frequent first step if it's an IO question. If it's not a function question, um, I'm just using this only as an example. So suppose it's good morning, for example. How many of you know input dot split? And this introduces the concept of lists, which I'll come to later. But how many of you know what does, if this is the input, for example, a standard input from terminal, what will this produce? Input dot split if this is empty. Let's look at it in the chat. Oh, split is the best function according to me. Yeah, same as well. A lot of people know this. It presents a list. Very good. A list of good morning. Okay. If the last if we keep the default separator, then it will take space as a separator, and it will split by space. Yeah, good morning, perfect. And both will be, and if it's a lot of time when some people talked about matrix and um, pattern printing as well in matrix, a lot of time this becomes the first mistake, is that you get 3 comma 3 and space 4 as the input. We use input dot split. So in those cases, suppose you have n comma m, so you can have n comma m. If the Python team is kind enough to give you numbers as input, use input dot split, or you have to ensure that these are all int, because these have, otherwise these will be, this can be string. So be careful to convert the when you're doing matrix operation, to convert them into integers. Otherwise there are a lot of issues can happen. Input dot split, yeah, if you have certain characters, you can do input dot split by what do you think will happen if I do input dot split by O? If I say A is equal to good morning, if this is the input, and I say input dot split O, what would be the output? Will it be something like this? It will gobble up the O, first O on which it is splitting. Okay, Manish has problem listed. Thank you. We'll take a look at that. Okay, where it takes second O also. It will take a second O also, right? Okay, it will take a second O also. Good. So it will have something like this. Is that what you're saying? Something like this. G, but it is splitting on O. It will not take that O, right? It will first split on this thing, then it will again split on this again. This will want something like this. DM. Then again it gobbles up this O. Something like this. Yeah. Yes, a lot of folks are getting it now. Yeah. So the separator need not be only space or comma or stuff. It can be anything if you want, right? Cool. So next, let's go back to our Notion page. Okay. Next is I think we have gone through slicing enough. Start, end, then step. Parsing structured text, date equation card. Remove spaces with replace. This case came up in multiple times when they gave an equation, say ax plus by is equal to c, and they wanted students to solve it. So they gave ax plus b is equal to c, and they wanted the value of x. How many of you solved that question? How many of you are solving those PYQs? Not solving those PYQs. Rishi has solved this PYQ. Amazing. So what they told here, Anurag has also solved those PYQ. Amazing. So what the examiner gave was that they gave you something like ax plus b is equal to c. Sorry, ax plus b is equal to c, and they wanted x. So you need to do something like c minus b by a. right? So how would you do that? And they had given like a lot of tough things. They had given like minus 3x equal to 6. They had given these kind of test cases. Then they had given like 5x plus 10 equal to suppose 20, something like that, right? So why I'm giving that example, because if you replace this, first is you split, second is that if you replace. So either you split on this part, split on x. The moment you have anything before x becomes the, if this then comes the logical part. You split before x. If you have nothing before x, then put that as 1. If you have anything before x, you capture everything and then take the int of that so that this becomes an integer. Then you have got the a. How many of you got the idea of splitting on x if you get this question to solve? A lot of people got this idea. A burst, replace spaces by this. Okay, yeah, there were some spaces as well, Sayantan, correct. A lot of questions with it when there were spaces. So you replace spaces by empty space. So if then you split by x, this is proceeding with the concept that you split. If you don't split by anything, then it splits by space. You can split by character like o. You can also split by something like x in this case, because you want the, yeah, then you split by w, by equal to, correct. So once you have got this, then because then you have split by everything after x would be either be plus b and something. Then you start looking at plus and then something, or you look at the is equal to, and then anything on the right of that, take the integer that becomes. They are kind enough to not put another x on the right side, so that we don't have to bring that x here and then do some calculations. So then anything on the right will be integer. I take that and subtract this and do. Absolutely, Sayantan is bang on. So this is again a classic example, because here the concept of replace was used. So you replaced this space, all the empty spaces in the front of the equation with nothing, so that you everything comes together quickly, and then you try to split, either split by x if it's an equation. They can give you like solve for y or solve for z. Just try to twist the question a little bit so you know what to do. They can also tell you that find the roll number from the email address, and you can then split by @ right? So the first one will be roll number, and then on the right side will be the domain. They're very simple question. I hope this question comes and all of you solve it and get quick, easy peasy 15 marks, right? But they'll not give that easy. They'll twist it a little bit as well. But this is again, so when you look at these, think of what comes to mind of a teacher. When you look at this, what comes to the mind of teacher? What if you split by plus, then what is in the equation 3x is equal to 9? There is no plus here. Very good, Krishan. So you do not split by plus. You have this, if null, this means it's false, b is equal to 0, correct. And then it's on top of the game. So what do you get when you split by minus? What kind of data input? This will be date usually, right? MMDDYY. That's a classic example. They will give you a date, and then they will ask you to pick up the month and year and hour and minute and second. Then you have to split by this minus or dash sign. If they give you at, think about email addresses x. Think at formula x and equal to, and by default empty spaces. Then you can map part to values if you want to. They can have some equations when they want to convert lists. But at step 4, you are introduced to a new concept of something called as lists. And lists will be your biggest friends and one of the biggest enemies if you don't know how to handle lists. So let's quickly go to the concept of lists and how lists will come in an exam and how you can manipulate lists. If modifying specific characters, then you can build a new string char by char. You can bring it like this. Start with here, then you have the new character here, then you can again continue from this part, and then so even if the strings are not mutable, you can extract some portions of the string. And then how many of you know concatenation of strings? Comfortable with concatenation of the strings? Never concatenate lists like this. And those who have no clue what the plus does in the string, because this is something that we do all the time. So if you remember, when I use the hardcore method of using s is equal to empty string, and then I use string as an accumulator, just like I use x as an accumulator, x is equal to x plus 1. In the same way, we use string as an accumulator. S is equal to s plus something. We dump stuff into s and then we print s. That's where the plus things gets quickly used, right? Right? So everything you can add, and then where can I get this PDF? This is not a PDF. This is a Notion. It will be in that link on the revision resources on the top of the page. There's a Google Doc on that Novel and Buddies page. There's a within that Google Doc. This is a Notion page. I don't know if someone can pin that Notion link here in the chat as well. It will be very kind of you. Let's go back, or let me just dump it here. Yeah, buddy project. Yeah, buddy project. There's a revision. There's a revision Google Doc at the top. Something like this. You would see this revision material stuff at the top, right? Let's go back. Let's go back. This is first is we were handling string manipulation. So email username we can do. We can split at this. Look at 0. And then the first part will be our roll number. This is again a previous year question. Somebody has already answered. Then comes the biggest trend: list, tuple, and dictionary. So how to approach and how do you know when to use list? So you look at the question and you first look at the return type in the template list. So this is a classic problem when you look at the question. Let's open any question in section 2. They will have last word sentence. This given sentence final last word that ends with uppercase. No, it's not a list question. They usually give you an input and an output. See. So here gives you an idea that the output should be a list, return the result as a list. So whenever you return, usually L is equal to this starts a list, and then you write a for or something, and then you use L dot append, and then you use something. So if you already have a list like a words, given a list of words, case insensitive, filter the word given specific criteria. So for this, for example, so you would have words of I, for example, and then you would have a loop here for I in range, len, words, for example. Then you do some manipulation on top of that. Then you dump it here. What does it do? So you can then someone says return the first elements, first alphabets of the. Then you want W, R, and sub. You can do that. You can all the manipulation. But the first function is how you define a list. Then how you increment a list. What if someone says you want a particular element of the list and remove some elements in the list? What will you do to remove elements from a list? You would use a pop function. How many of you know what a pop function is? Have used a pop function before? We'll try to not take more than 10-15 more minutes, and then we'll try to wrap it up. We are now in getting into the middle part, and then try to end it up in 15 minutes. I hope this is anyway getting recorded, so you folks will have the live stream and recording. I hope the Wayanad team would be happy to supply you a copy. But right? So how do you pop? So when you pop an element, you usually extract the last part, right? So if you say okay, L is this, let's say L dot pop, is this the function? Let me know if I'm doing something wrong here. It pops the rightmost element. So there was a previous year question where they asked us to pop elements from a particular location. Couple of elements like second and fifth element and whatever. So if someone says, suppose this had only two, right? So yeah, this is a good example. This has lots of elements, right? If someone says, can you pop the second and fifth element? Always pop the rightmost element first. Because if you pop this one, then this will shift here. All these indices will be preserved. Then you can quickly pop this element as well, or 0 1 first and 0 1 2 3. If someone says pop J and A, always pop A first and then pop J, because when you pop A, some simple concepts here. When you pop A, then B comes here, and these three remain unchanged. Then you can easily do this part. If you pop J, then all of three move here. Then you have to do -1 for all the numbers. You can do that as well, but you have to check. If you pop by smaller numbers, then and if the popping next number is larger than this, then subtract 1 from everyone, because everyone has shifted position. Usually it complicates when you're doing a lot of string or function handling in section 3 problems. But this is a very core concept, very error prone core concept. Len x -1, simple. Okay, good. Abhishek Kumar, okay, yeah, that's also an example. Len x -1. That is the pop function, append function. How many of you know key value pairs and dictionaries? How many of you are comfortable with dictionaries, and how many of you are scared of dictionaries? Comfortable with dictionaries, thumbs up. Not comfortable with dictionaries. Because I saw a couple of questions in the beginning of the class on dictionaries. I hope those folks have stayed back. I know Shayantan is comfortable with dictionary. Um, Everybody is comfortable with dictionary. That's amazing. So let's look at a complex. Oh, Sanjana is not comfortable with dictionary. Okay, let's look at a dictionary problem. Can anyone recommend in the chat any older previous year question on dictionary that they found really complex?
Sir, May 2025, OPT Set 4.
May 2025. Okay, share this tab. This is 2025 is down here. Jan, May, and then OPP1 set 4.
Set 4, question, section 3.1.
Okay, let's look at the problem. Okay, given a list of YouTube video records where each record is a dictionary with the following keys. It has given title, view, likes, comments. I hope this is visible to all, right? I'll make this a bit larger. Implement the following function: total engagements. Return the total engagement, likes plus comment for a given video. So we have given a function like total engagements, and there's a dictionary as an input. Test cases, we have given some videos and some views, likes, comments. You have to return the total engagement, is likes of comments of a given video. Okay, so something like this would work. So if video is given, then return video key value pair, right? So literally have likes and comments, literally those are the keys in dictionary. These are keys, these are values. That's called dictionary. Dictionaries are key value pairs. Dictionaries are a kind of data structure where just like in lists you have only values, in dictionary you can have key value pairs. So here the keys are these likes, comments, views, and stuff. So here it's literally asking you likes. So let's see what happens. I don't know. I hope all the people who are watching me live on YouTube don't make an impression about me if I get a syntax error. So likes, and then as well as all the folks. So what I usually do and what I usually teach to folks in my group is use this as the debugger. Just run this instead of trying to solve the full problem. See, you got a green tick here. I never try to solve the whole. I don't try to eat the entire stuff. I try to eat little stuff from the corners if it's hot in the center, right? So I guess we got this problem. Anyone who doesn't know what I just did on the screen? Little bit complex when come to good question. No sir, not much. कितनों को समझ में आया नहीं आया? I'm just speaking in Hindi just to make it a bit more chatty. I know it's getting very late. अनुराग को समझ में नहीं आया, okay? And श्रेया को समझ में नहीं आया, okay? क्या समझ में? So again, those who have joined late. So whenever I love Python from the bottom of my heart. First confession. So whenever I teach or to my group of 60 folks here in IIT, I give them 4 questions. One, English समझ में नहीं आया. That means कि सारी क्या लिखा है, अगर ये बांग्ला में होता या मराठी में होता तो मैं समझ जाता. So the question is not comprehensible. Second is समझा लेकिन logic समझ में नहीं आया. Third is I don't know syntax. It's like I want to speak to you in Malayalam, but I don't know Malayalam. But I know what I want to tell you. And for this, edge case is not passing. I think someone asked me about edge cases earlier in the class. So those who have given me thumbs down, right here, logic समझ में नहीं आया अनुराग. Thank you. Logic समझ में नहीं आया. Okay. What about Shreya, Shruti? I'm forgetting the name of the person who also gave me a thumbs down. And someone else. Third level. 3 is the problem. You don't know the syntax. Hardik. Okay. अच्छी बात है. What else? Test cases passing, usually it's not a problem in dictionary. Okay, we'll spend some time on dictionary today. Okay, so let's approach from the English reading. We have a lot of large questions. They're a bit scary, so people run away when they look at a large question. So we'll look at a large question and will not run away. YouTube video engagement analysis. So we love putting up videos. We want a lot of likes and comments. So you are given a list of YouTube video records where each record is a dictionary with the following keys. So like in any computer program, you have an input. So the moment if this English becomes too overwhelming, click here, look at the input here and make it a bit larger. So it gives you that this is the input. We'll warm up, slowly we'll warm up. So those who have trouble with dictionary, are you comfortable with lists? Akash is comfortable. Those who are having Anurag is comfortable. This is only for those who have trouble with dictionary. Okay, amazing. So if you come back here, so this kind of looks like a list of dictionaries. So just like data structures in Python, first or the simplest data structure is represented by something like this: a comma b, a tuple, then usually a list, those who know said that they know list. If I say this is L is equal to BBA, suppose this is T is equal to A comma B. If I print set of L, what will I get? In school we have read set, na? Collection of ordered things, stuff. What will be the output of? Good. Duplicate item removed. Very nice. But it does not put it in the alphabetical order. उसको alphabetical order में नहीं करेगा वो. If I submit it, not put it on. Okay, I'm in case 2. This is case 1. Why is it not? It is written. I put it before return. X. And then I have to put it somewhere here. And then I have to paste it here. B comma A. What did I do? T of a tuple. Okay, I'm finding tuple. Okay, understood. Let's do ignore for this, and then let's just run this. I think even this needs a bit of string handling. So this will be b comma a. BA 150 BA. So it just identifies the unique one. So but I wrote set na. Why did it give me those curly brackets? The curly brackets are for dictionary or are they for sets? Because Anurag gave me some. Acha, it's for both. So some people feel that those curly are for dictionary only. Set is like the smooth ones, like the parenthesis. Both. Okay, good. So these are all data structures in Python. Then this tuple is, if you want to make something immutable, then this is usually a good way to do it. If I print t, how will it look like? Looks like this, no? This is a tuple. Next one is a set. So the third one, where a lot of queries come from, is dictionary. So what's the first thing in our mind when we think about dictionary? Oxford English Dictionary. If people are a bit of my age, or nowadays Wikipedia, right? So a dictionary would have a word and the meaning, the key and a value. So you can look up a particular word in the dictionary and it will tell you what exactly that word means. Key value pair. Correct. So it's a type of a data structure in Python where we will use the help function to look at dictionary. Okay. Key. Abhishek has a question. Yes, sir. So if you define dict, this is a empty dictionary. The structure of this, it's defined as a data structure so there is no other reason why it is this format. It's defined in the format of a key and a value where these two occur in pairs, right? And you can access the value in dictionary in this format. If you say dictionary of key, then it will give you value. Just like in IIT Madras, you will give me roll number. The system will give you name, for example, or they will give you. Someone asks, my exam is not scheduled or whatever. They ask, what's your roll number? You put your roll number in Looker. Then Looker gives you a value. That value could be displayed in the HTML page. So there could be a dictionary in the backend. It can be implemented in a dictionary format. So whenever you are indexing a value to a particular key, a dictionary becomes a very popularly used data structure. You can also not use dictionary if you want to. You can use multiple lists. You can have indices for the list, but it becomes really complex because the moment you start shuffling things, the order of the list changes. Dictionary becomes very easy to handle. But dictionary comes with a lot of challenges as well. It's not very easy to access dictionary items or manipulate dictionary items. You need a couple of unique functions. One of such functions is dict.items. We'll use this next in the next question. So here, when we said video likes, it run this. So one of such items is, if you go to case, so if this is a list, and here there's a dictionary, view and title and whatever, right? So when you say something of title, then it looks at this and everything. See, videos 0, 150 is equal videos 1, 400. So it's calling this function with a dictionary video, which is this one. and it's adding the video of likes and video of comments. So if it wants a list of all the titles, we write video title. It will print all the titles. So this entire thing is one, what to say, one unit. You can store title into the Python, views, 1,000 likes, this, comments, this. So you can have these numbers. You can change the values. Keys are usually fixed. Keys in dictionary are used to index or look up values. Values can change. Values can, you can increase the values, reduce the values, and manipulate these. But usually keys stay the same. They are a bit like, if you are comfortable with database, then or if you're comfortable with Excel sheet, for example, these are column names, for example. And then you have records. In the same way, these are all records. Those who know a bit of object-oriented programming or who are coming from Java, so they will know a bit of objects and then the records. So that's how we access and solve the first problem. Let's look at the second problem. The second part of this problem. Second is engagement rate. Returns the engagement rate for a given video using this formula. Engagement rate, likes and comments. This is just simple manipulation. If you can find the likes and comments, you can add them. If you can add them, you can divide them as well, and then multiply this formula. So I guess this shouldn't be a difficult part. Doesn't require a lot of manipulation, but say return. Let's look at a test case. What exactly they are looking for. Make it larger. So they'll give you a video and they want something like this. This 15 is likes plus comments by views. So this is likes plus comments is video 0. See, 100 plus 50. So it's 150 by views. Views is 1000 into 100. So this plus this by this. It's simple. So this is return. I think Shantan gave me. Shantan, if you have got the context, then we'll move to a more complex problem. Otherwise, we can solve this as well. Likes plus video comments. Then this, then this, then this. Then you divide by views. It's for the same views. So then video. The concept is that can a student do a key value pair? It wants returns as float or as integer. Let's do a test run and see if it works. Doesn't work. Division by 0. Someone asked for a test private case failing, right? Classic example. Right?
There's the views 1000 and views 2000.
Views 1000, yeah, but you have to multiply by 100 also, na?
Yes, yes.
So they have there. I think they want the rate as percentage.
Yes, it's
So this,
percentage.
so this is, for example, division by 0. For example, so return this minimum, maximum effort, like Deadpool, or minimum effort. If return this, if something like this. Will this work? Or will I embarrass myself in front of 100 here and thousands, millions watching me on YouTube? Doesn't work. Where did I go wrong? This one? Works? What a relief. Please take 3 part of this question. Take 3 part. Oh, section 3. I think you missed the brackets. Nah, Ray, I just wrote or. The good way is to also debug by looking at that red dabba. It's your best friend in the exam. Works? Yes, no, maybe. Works, na? Okay, Shrujal says yes, it works. So I guess by this time you would have known that you can access the values in a dictionary by looking at the key. By looking at key, what did I do here? Those anyone who didn't understand what I did just here, let me do a control Z so that and get the error back. So I did something like this, and then I made a mistake. Then I was lazy. Then I said, okay, I don't want to write a full loop function and do everything. I said, let's do something like this. Then I wrote this and then I executed. But that's the wrong format because if you write if, you need an else. So my good friend from this red bracket told that else is missing. So I wrote else. So this runs, it returns this. Then it checks for the if there's a if value here, and it looks for satisfying this. This is a lazy way to code, but it's a what is it? It's a very compact way of writing the full code here. An elegant or a normal way is to put the loop within the function. So it checks for if this is not equal to 0, then it does this. If it's equal or else if it's not equal to 0, then or if it's equal to 0, then it returns this. Okay, sure. Let's see. Third part of this question, Vishal Yadav wants the third part of this question. Okay. Who else wants the third part of this question? Where was I? Where did the question go? Can someone tell me which question was this? I think I refreshed the screen so that question went away. Which year, which question? Anyone remembers? Let me scroll.
Sir, 2025 May set for Q.
2025. Sorry, huh? I just refreshed, so it went away. My mistake. Question 3, problem 1. This one, huh? Sorry. Someone wants this one? Vishal. Vishal Yadav, you want this question? The third one, the most engaging video? Yes, acha. Okay. Those who had problem with understanding the logic. So first, those who had problem understanding English. Is this part clear? If you find the English very long here, then and you're comfortable with math, then go and look here. So you'll get an idea ki input mein kya hai. Then you'll also you can click here and see ke output mein kya hai. So you can understand what exactly the problem wants, right? This is for those who are scared of English. Manish says yes. Okay, yeah. And someone who said logic. Who said logic? Scroll. Logic. Anurag Maurya. If Anurag Maurya. Okay. So if Anurag, the logic part, is this clear? What I did, I just looked at key value and then there was no logic per se here in the first couple of questions. It just said add two numbers. I added two numbers. In the second question, it asked me to do a formula. I did a formula, but then there was a logic there. That division by 0 is not allowed. So I deliberately went the layman method. I just divided it, got the mistake, then I debugged it. So that you don't need to be cautious before submitting. Submit as many times as you want. Submit quick, submit fast. And the best friend is that red box. Anurag. So that you know where you make mistake, try to understand and comprehend. If you have time today, tomorrow, OPP2, try to comprehend the errors. That exactly kya bol raha hai error. And the error will become your best friend. Right? If you see this, don't be sorry or ashamed or scared that kuch to gadbad ho gaya. See what exactly it's looking for. It's saying. It says division by 0. That means I'm dividing by 0. If I do not divide by 0, it will go away. Now it will not say division by 0. Now this is showing some error. No output return. I'm not returning an output. Good. So let's go here. What the question asks. Most engaging video, return the title of the video with the highest engagement rate. If there is a tie, return the first one. Very good. यहाँ पे हमने engagement rate निकाल रहे हैं. We are finding out engagement rate here. Now what professor wants is that it wants to find the max engagement rate. So how will you do that? First, if you don't know anything, just print the input. So that you know what are you getting as input? Videos. Simple way to debug this. Test run this. So you are getting something like this. A list of type absolute fundamentals, so that anyone can easily get at least 60. Section 1 and section 2 are easy. It's a list. It's not a dictionary. Right? They are giving you a list, also mentioned here, but also found out here. Many ways of looking at the same truth. This is they are giving you a list. Then you have to find return the title of the video with the highest engagement rate. So can you do this in a loop and think? They are trying to build on this logic. Can you find the engagement rate of all the videos, then find the max rate, then return video with that max engagement rate? So find सबका engagement rate निकालो. Find the engagement rate of this, find the engagement rate of this, find the engagement rate of this, then find the max value. And that for that max value, find title. How will you do that? What are the first thoughts that come to your mind? Max is equal to -1. Max is equal to -1 is a bit far-fetched. But first you have to create a list. You have to find everyone's engagement rate. But engagement rate will become you want to add another key value here. You want to add title, then can you add another key? Videos of ER is equal to engagement rate. For video and videos. Cha. Yeah. How many of you think that we can add another key called ER, which is the engagement rate, and then find the max ER, and then put ER in a list, and then use the max function on a list to get the maximum value, and then use for k comma v in videos, so you have key value, and then say if videos of ER equal to max, then return videos the title. How many of you got the concept? How many of you it just went over the top? What I said just now. आयुष्मा को समझ में आया? कोई बात नहीं. For Vijay, for Vishal, and for many others, and for my fun as well. I know it's a bit late in the evening, so but we are midnight owls, kind of, most of us. So let us solve this one. Okay, this is the question. Okay. So for V in videos, let's go with the Vishal's logic. So we have got the first video. What do we do here?
So before running the for loop, we can create an empty list and name best title, and and best rate is equals to 0.0 for comparison.
Hmm.
Then after we can use the above engagement rate and directly put the V instead of video, and
That,
then
that,
compare
that-
the
that's also
best rate.
correct. That's also a good approach. But
I got the right answer.
but
Use
why
the
but why do we want to add data? So that's the right approach. There's nothing wrong here. But if you want to find the laziest approach with the minimum effort that you want to do, you don't want to add more data in a data structure. Simplest, laziest approach focus on maximum ROI and writing code. Think it's very simple. Think of a simplest way to get maximum point with minimum lines of code. Engagement rate will always be more than zero, less than 100. Okay. What does this do? How many of you know this dot item function? What will happen if I print k? Video is a list. So you cannot do videos on items. If video is a list and video is not a dictionary, then how did video of likes work?
sir in engagement rate. Uh, we are using the about function
Ah.
that accept.
There, there the videos video was a dictionary. Here video is a list. So it will go for every video. V in videos. This is a dictionary. Then for k comma v in, v already has a value. We are already using v. So let's say v1 in videos. For k comma v in, v dot items.
So I
What will
used if titles in video,
this will print it?
then directly compare with the best max value.
Cannot equate not associated the value. Hmm. v1 dot items, not v dot items. Sorry. It prints all the keys, not the values. So can we find the engagement rate of each one using this formula? If what is this? K comma V. V1 is the dictionary. So V1 of views. Here you have to use the boring method. Is not equal to 0. Then something like this. I hope the clipboard works in exam. Else you have to type it. Else will this work? What I've just written here? Of course, it will have V1 and V1 and V1. Works, no? So you want to find the title of this video, 20% engagement rate. Can we say if ER is greater than max, then max is equal to ER and then store that value? You have to just, so output has to be just this, no? Can we use this? The absolute fundamental. And then just call some kind of a placeholder like s is equal to whatever. Not, you don't even need that. You can just say whatever. S is equal to v1. What's that thing? v1 dot title. Will this work? Do we have to print it? Do we have to return it? It returns the title. Will it work? Or will it not work? Advanced Python. Why does it not work?
Second one is different question. Means case 3 has two questions combined.
Two questions. Okay. No output returned. If there is a tie, return the first one in the list. Okay. Okay, so it will always print the second one here. I am stuck. Can I rescue myself? Or can I not rescue myself? Maybe not rescue myself. It says return the first one in the list. Where do you think we are going wrong? We have the solution. We can look at the solution, and this is
So
anyway
in the
solved.
so in the test case, if you run that third one, actually in that the third case is running the third and the fourth fourth case together. Means once open that test case, you can read the question. Yes, so open that input.
This one expected output.
Input.
Input. Acha. Huh.
So, see, they both are asking different things. First and second, last.
Videos with engagement rate above threshold.
Yes, we have to solve the fourth one to get the right. To run the.
So they would have mixed. There was another question in one of the exam when they had to calculate another function inside another function. So then again, then our best friend is this, and now the second best friend is this. Let's solve this problem. But this will return. This addresses this problem. When there is a tie, so anyway, if it's a tie, if ER is greater than max, it will take care of the tie. So if max is 20, the first time it will be 20. The next time it will again come 20. It is not greater than 20. So it will not assign it here. It will always stay as 20. For example, there are two videos with engagement rate as 20. Say that where there is a tie, return the first one. So suppose there are two videos which have engagement rate 20. First, max is 0. The moment it comes to the first maximum value, if it is this, then this. Otherwise, max becomes 20. The second 20 will not be greater than this. So if it is tied, then anyway it stores the first value only. Is this part clear? We didn't need to create this list and append and then find the first element of the list. But sometimes when the questions are a bit tricky, then you can use this approach as well. Yes, no, maybe. Did someone get what I just did? Nobody got what I just did. Akash got what I just did. Yeah. So if someone says find the second last, third last, fourth last, if you are creating a list, then you can play around with that kind of stuff. If you're not getting a list, then you have only this to go with it. Okay, so let's solve this one as well. Return the video. So again, see what it's trying to do. First, it made you calculate this. Now the professor or the examiner knows that you can calculate this. You're happy. Then it tried to make you make a list of these and find the first and third largest and fourth largest. And it's now saying putting a threshold there, threshold here. This is like filtering this list. If you think as a student, what is the concept being tested here? Can a student filter a list? It has given a threshold. So once you have this list, I don't think this list can be used here because it's a local variable. But if this list can be used here, then you can put that threshold and return something greater than threshold. So in that case, this will be useful for us. Create all these ER values and dump them in the order which they are, and then the order of the list element will be same as the uh, um, element of all this dictionaries in V1. So suppose suppose you get a list for like 1.7 space 2 20 15 whatever. Then you know that this is aligned to the first video dictionary. This is aligned to the second video. So suppose if you um, do not create a new key inside this dictionary, you just store it in a list. This is again a very loose way of doing it. This is not the actual hardcore way of doing it, but the loose way of doing it is if you stored it in a list, then you know that intro to Python has 1.7. You can use it here, and then put a threshold here, and then check. If it is more than this, then return this one. Or the better way is that whenever you store ER, you create a second dictionary, or you dump it here as another key value. Your choice, right? The videos with engagement rate above threshold. Okay, as a list, you have given your video as a list and threshold as a float. So you do all of this for even in videos for k comma v in items. You go to 0, this engagement is this. To create this engagement rate and then create a function, it will be easier. Dump it here. Can we create something like this? V1 of something like this. Will it work? Or will it not work? Let's print V1 before and print V1 after. Oh, which cell will give us? Acha, this will give us. So we can create key values, na, in dictionary. Or half of the class or the entire class has slept off. Some people have slept off waiting for the questions to be answered. Shantan is awake. Acha. Thank you for staying awake. Akash is also awake. Anurag. Anurag had the question, is Anurag awake? अरे बहुत से लोग जागे हुए हैं. अच्छा, very nice. You have raised your hand, Anurag, so you have a doubt or you are just awake? If you are awake, then we know. ठीक है? So we can create this thing, na? This is good news for us. Once you have this, then you can play around and have filters, no? If you create something like this, then you can do whatever you want to do. Then create another loop. The moment you have this as a value, then you can say, na, if whatever v1 of er greater than whatever. Then you create something like this. You want to what, return a list or what? Return a list of video title. Okay. Best friend is L. Question आया list of titles. हाँ. Then do something like L dot append or क्या? We are happy. What did you append? V1 of titles. बस क्या return कर दो L. We are happy. Will it work? Will it not work? Yes, no, maybe. Expected output type string. Your output type this. Output does not match the expected output. Okay. The output into the Python advanced Python into the Python into the Python so many times into the Python. Oh my god, I'm printing within the loop or what? Oh, I'm appending here. Greater than threshold, I'm checking every time and I'm looping for every video. How do we fix it? List of titles are awake. Conscious are awake. So if we put this entire loop inside the loop, then it is printing like intro to intro, 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 Python, 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 Python so many times. the duplicates, it keeps the first value from the left, keeps only unique values, and discards the repeated values, right? So if something is in list 1 and not in list 2, it will stay here. If something in list 1 and in list 2, the one in list 1 will stay. So the same value in list 2 will go away. So everything in list 2 will start shifting a bit left when that value goes away. This is the function list 1 plus list 2, concatenation of lists and addition of lists. I know, I guess by this time you know that you cannot add the elements of list by doing list 1 plus list 2. How many of you know this, that list 1 plus list 2 doesn't add the elements of list? You folks know, right? So if list 1 is 1 2 3 and list 2 is 4 5 6, if you want to add 1 plus 4, you don't do list 1 plus list 2, it just concatenates them. Okay, everyone knows. Good. Rotate even index elements, which is rotate even. This came up in the very beginning of the class as well. I said that some start, last, and jump by every even. So you start with 0, go to the last value, jumping 2 to 2 each. So this is all the events. This is a list of all the events. Then you start popping events. For example, if you want to rotate the events, very commonly asked question. Pop the events, removes the last element, find this events. Then you insert event back here in the very first. How many of you got what we are doing here? We remove the last element of from events. So all the events shift. We are not touching the list L. We are copying L into, or we're creating another child list from L. Then we are playing around with events in the list. Then we are inserting in that events list this, and then we are reinserting events back into the event elements, because lists are mutable. Panton got it. INT value, Anurag, INT value. Which INT value is relevant to this one or some other question? Okay. So this part is clear, right? What we did here was we copied all the even elements. Now the same thing is true for odd elements as well. Not for this. Got it. So we copied all the even stuff out. We don't want to change L. We copied everything out from L events. We did some manipulation on that. Then we fed that data back, because lists are mutable, right? Had it been a tuple, we couldn't have done that, for example. Okay, let's go to the next question. Data processing, IO type, loop. Look at the input, list of numbers, string, dictionaries. Look at outputs. If it's list, then it's square bracket, start with L is equal to square bracket list, and start appending stuff. If it's a string, then usually write S is equal to empty string or result to string and start concatenating it. Dictionary, always know the key value pairs. So dictionary, there are two ways to manipulate dictionary. One is D of K is equal to V. So you put a subscript of K, you get V. Second is D dot items, and you extract everything in a 2 pairs of key value, key value, key value, and then you manipulate on that. So to do that, the most common way of doing this is for K comma V in D dot items. So it just takes two elements, and then it tries to, then you work with the key. If you want to work on the key is a even number, key is a string, key is something. Then you do look at the value, and then you manipulate it. And then if you want to find out a particular value at a particular key, or a particular key at a particular value, then you store it in a local variable, like a flag variable in dictionary, right? Something like this. So say someone says input, 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 n input. If you want to process them, suppose you have to look for number of words. How will you look for number of words in n lines? You will do input dot split, and then you will do len. Len of input dot split will give you number of words. Why? Because in a line, number of words is number of spaces plus 1. How many lines are there? This has 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 spaces, then 5 characters. If you do input dot split, it will give you 5 elements. So len anyway will give you all the words. So these are ways: take the input, dump it into a list, and then play around with it, or do input dot split and then play around with it. That those are very simple questions that come here. Also sometimes they transform that how many vowels are there, convert all the vowels to consonants, or convert all the shift all the vowels by one character. So common example of shifting all vowels by one character, um, just store something like wow is equal to wow is equal to a e I o u, and then you play around with this whatever. If the input is x, say x of I, this is the first one, then you want to look at particular character, suppose second character, x of I in wow, then you do something. Second is very common question is when you look at all the change the elements or change the alphabets by something, but what they will do, a question was asked about a test cases, is that they will deliberately put some special characters. So suppose if you want to check that these are only alphabets, then store something like a1 is equal to, this is absolute brute force method. You say a b c d e f g h I j k l m n o p q r s t u v w x y z. If you want to be absolutely sure, whenever you do any kind of string manipulation or any kind of text manipulation, you just put if this in this dot lower in a1, for example, then you'll ensure that you're only handling the alphabets, you're not handling any special characters. This is one of the easiest way to ensure that you do not you're not manipulating or working with any special characters, because what examiner will do in all the public test cases, they'll not give any special characters. In so x will have like, in public test cases would be like good, but in private test cases it will be like this. Yeah, ASCII value plus one, that's also possible. Yeah, those who know 65 and 97, 65 is for capital A, 97 is for small a. There are many ways to look at these values and find if you don't know, they're going to look for help ASCII and stuff. The point I'm saying is, if something like this is there, they will deliberately not put it here, and you will be scratching your head thinking that why is your test case not passing. A good example, a good way, a good hack is always think of this as an approach. So look up everything by putting this and putting a lower here, for example, or this and then capital A as well, and then you look up here, right? So let's go back. Let's go back and look at here. So split into words, process each word, join back. Yes. Character by character transform, vowel, consonant, letter. Always, whenever you see character by character, always good idea to put A to Z into maybe a string or some kind of stuff, and then do a first sanity check that you're only handling with alphabets. Then transform, and then how do you put the words back? If you are using character, then you concatenate each character, and then you dump it in a list. Or if you are creating a full statement back, then you join them with a space in between. Then you concatenate them back and you save it back, and then you return whatever. Something like this. Take range, take input, then print the result. Here, if you have a line, then you have input dot split. It splits by every element, and then it has spaces, and then it has int of I for I in n. This is when you want to go for every element. So suppose there are n words here, n is called input dot split, and it is a list, and you are going for each element in the list. And if it's an integer, then look here, int of I. Very commonly used again in matrices, when they would give something like this. When they would give something like this, when the input will be 3, 4. This is 3 rows, 4 columns, and then they will have 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12, for example. This is the element. So you will read 3 comma 4 from keyboard as standard input. You assign this to n and m or I and j, whatever you want to. Then you loop through this many times, and then you look for these many elements, start appending them, right? So in that case, when you append all these elements, when you append all I in n, all n inputs you are taking, you would want to convert these into integers because you want to perform some operation on top of that. Very commonly used. Then these kind of special cases, replace consonants with this. Um, how will you do this? If someone says replace consonants with hash, let's see who are awake in the class right now. If someone says replace consonants with hash, answer is there on the screen. Yeah, not in vowels. Easy approach. Not in AI, AEIOU. Either store it as vowels or just not in this. Right. So then you can quickly, if it's not in vowels, then it has to be. Again, be very cautious that that professors or examiners can give you special characters. So a good approach would be ch dot lower not in AEIOU, but ch dot lower is in A to Z. You folks are getting what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a good sanity check to check this, and then you start dumping it here. Um, Watch out, read the format. Is the first line n or the data? If the first line is number, then take n. Always remember it would be string, convert that into integer. Comma input split by this. Space input split by nothing or split by space. Vowels this. I'll never forget using this dot lower so that it's easier to look up this. Then be very careful because this is something that we have seen multiple times repeated in exam. They'll deliberately write odd numbers in even indices because Python starts with 0, so the first element index is even. So if someone writes 1 2 3 4 5, then 1 is odd on an even index. So odd numbered, so look at very carefully, is it odd index or odd number, right? So if it's odd number, then you look at the number. Say for example, if say L equal to 1 2 3 4 5, this is the list. If someone says look at all the odd indexed, return all the odd indexed numbers, so you have to return this 2 and 4. How will you do return odd indexed number of L? For I in range len of L, okay. So for I in range len of L, okay. Then what do you do? So this I will be the index, right? So if then do I percentage 2 is not equal to 0, that means it's an odd index. Then you print I or print L of I. Right? If someone says print the index of all the even numbers, then for I in L, what does this do? It takes element by element. If I percentage 2 is not equal to 0, is equal to 0, for example, all the even numbers, you find their indices. How will you find the location of 2 in L? How many of you know .idx as a function? You know index function? Don't know index function? It's fine. If you don't know index function, it's perfectly fine. There are simpler ways to find it. So if I percentage 2 equal to 0, simpler way is just have a counter. Whenever you are in trouble, go to absolute fundamentals, right? Because when you go to diploma level and others, you will have efficient way of programming. At present, nobody is asking you to program it efficiently, right? This will work. The moment it finds an even number, it prints the count. The first count is 0, I is 1, I percentage 2 equal to 0, no. It comes here, count becomes 1. It goes again here, it goes to the second value, which is 2. 2% is equal to 0, yes, it prints 1. So the index of 2 is 1. Then this becomes 2, goes back here, takes 3. 3% is 2 equal to 0, no. Then it increases. This works, now. How many of you understood what this code does? How many of you know what code 36 to 41 does? Or have no clue what 36 to 41 does? I can see the class strength decreasing from 100 plus to 15 plus, some people here and there now. But uh, the intention of doing this kind of very simple programming is that if you don't know advanced concepts, you can still solve those problems with absolute fundamental ideas. Count is equal to 0, I in L, check, count is equal to count plus 1, then go back again. Right? This answers Shantan's question as well. Let's go back. So, what do you watch out for? You look for vowels and you use dot lower. Then you look for odd numbered pair heading from 1. This is where we spend so much time. Odd numbered pair, index is odd or the number is odd. Right? Sometimes this, if you don't know this function, don't try to remember this. But if you know, CHR of order of or ORD of CH plus 1 gives the next letter. It's good for replacement, or you can simply write ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOPQRSTUWZ and then say if this in N, then print the next element. That also works. How many of you got what I'm saying? I said that you just print A to Z, you just store A to Z, and then if you do not know this tough question, just look it up and then print the next value. Just hack it. You don't need to mug up anything. Python is the nicest language. It's easiest to learn. For reverse vowel, yeah, just correct the vowel reverse. Then there's no special thing. Then this is the S and A. This will give you S and A grades. The next, which is 60 to 100, criteria based filter. Simplest one, they just put four simple problems together to make it complex. The first is all section 3 questions will be very long. They would have like multiple components. To learn how to decompose each component into multiple smaller portions. Suppose the first is criteria based filters. So something like this, which we are doing right now, right? So what I do, or what I have seen people or students succeed in doing, is to just keep submitting. Suppose you did this, submit. So you have one pass. You don't have to solve everything and then submit. Slowly you will start building, right? And then overall you will succeed when you go through all the cases, right? So let's go back to this one. So look at all the criteria values. In some examples, when these functions are not given, they will say this is an input-output question. You have to yourself look for or write a criteria. If it's excellent, then do something. For example, they'll give you scores of student. You have to then calculate an average. And then when you calculate an average, they will try to create a test case when the average is a integer and not a float, so that certain edge cases students get above average, certain edge cases students do not get above average. So convert this average into INTF average. There are very some simple silly mistakes that can stop the edge cases from passing in the private test cases. So we'll look up a problem or look up a previous year question if someone has something of this part, but this is very common. When there are criteria and you solve problem based on criteria. Um, then they will also give you a one example where there would be a particular part of code to run when the option is none. That do this if it is none. A lot of students write if criteria equal to none. Never write. It's advisable not to write criteria equal to none or criteria equal to none. Just use if, elif, and then use else. Else will handle none better than you writing criteria equal to none. Criteria equal to none will most probably cause the test cases to fail, right? So use these, and if all the criteria fails, then use else. If, elif, and for the last one, use else. Multifunction analysis. So they will give you a data set like usually a list with some key value pairs. We saw video analysis of employees and the salary, cricket stats, sentences, and then small functions which we're looking at right now. Look at the signatures, simple ones. Start with the simplest function, get it working, as we saw. Slowly we call the next function. For later function, you can call your earlier function as well inside them. This is the see he has solved the engagement rate problem. Don't recompute it. Just call that function and dump it. Because this is going to be embedded in the program, essentially you can call it again. But if you want to change the code locally within the next function, then write the something from scratch again. So it means something like this. So if you have already calculated engagement rate here, what we did was we copied it here again and solved it again. This logic. What CSR is telling, that call engagement rate and dump it here. Instead of doing this, say ER is equal to this of this. Don't calculate ER again. That's also a way of solving it. You just call the function. But if you have made a mistake in the previous function, the second function will also not work. Each function is 2 to 5 lines. Okay. The word most, best, max. Okay. Max is used in lists. Above threshold, filter with the list comprehension, something like this. Engagement rate video of v is equal to 0. This return this. This was the edge case when division was 0 happened. Most engaging videos, return max of videos, e as engagement rate, right? So we knew that engagement, you create something called as ER or engagement rate, and then you dump all the engagement rates there, sort them or put them in a list, then find the max value and then return its title. This is the way of looking. This is same as video of title for max engagement rate. Something that we are doing here. No, this is above threshold. This one, greater than max, then max. Instead of doing all this logic, just simply return v1 dot, even you don't even need v1 dot items. Just calculate engagement rate, or just use this list of engagement rate, calculate them, and then return one which is greater than threshold, or return one which is maximum engagement rate. Something like this. You get partial marks if you are able to pass some private test cases too. Multiple section 2 questions clubbed together, you get partial marks. Okay. Then is the pivot question, pattern printing. So when we do pattern printing, always try to understand that every row or every column is separated. So if you are able to say print Z, then print the top and bottom of Z first. Print top row, which is Z, and then n number of stars or asterisks or whatever. Then you have the trailing diagonal. So then you have leading space, symbol, middle space, symbol. So in the trailing diagonal of Z, you have space reducing, and then you have some symbols coming. So symbols will be like a star or something. Think from a loop perspective, what is reducing as this increases. So for example, if you want to print, if the input is n, so first is you print, I hope you folks know that this into n prints n number of stars, for example. right? So the if you are trying to print z, or then the top part of z is taken care of. If you write something like this, then bottom part of z is also taken care of. Now we have to write something in the middle. So we see that z, the trailing diagonal, the z keeps on reducing as the space keeps on falling. So if I have for I in uh, say range n, so as I value keeps on rising, we have the space reducing. So we would have first as n minus 1, something like this, n minus I minus 1 into empty spaces, then concatenate an asterisk. Will that do? Suppose if n is 5, this will be 5 minus I is 0, so 5 minus 1 is 4. It will print 4. Oh no, if it is n minus 1, okay, so it's not this. This is n minus 1 minus I. What is happening? Empty space into. Yes. So we have n is, suppose n is 5, then 5 minus I is 0, 5 minus 1 is 4, so it will print 4 empty spaces. It will have space, 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 then a star. Then I becomes 1, space, 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 then star. Then again the same. Now you know the drill. So, but this will run how many times? This will run n times. But what if the examiner says this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the examiner says something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is good enough. It just wants 3. Then should we go for? Should this loop run n times? We have already printed 2. Can you do this? N minus 2. Yeah. Shantan is the only one awake. So we can do something like this, right? So because common sense that we have already printed these two. So now then someone else will also play, then examiner will also play around with the question. Examiner will say, let's see what else we can do with it. Let's try to make it more complex, for example. Then you should know some simple concepts like print. First is you understood that so what I had done earlier is say a plus b plus c is equal to constant, suppose, right? So is c is equal to n, for example. So a is leading diagonal, then element, then trailing diagonal. Let me see if I have that or not. I'd used that to explain it to one of my students. If I have that as a diagram, I'll show it to you, so that if you are able to crack and look at the any printing any pattern horizontally, then you can crack it immediately. It's very simple. That's 20 marks, easiest for you taking. Let me see if I have the older version here. Where must be there. uh, for I in range this. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
So
Excuse me.
yeah,
Sir, can you, sir, this is a pattern type question. Sir, could you explain this again, sir? Actually, because I got disconnected between the call.
no problem, no problem. I'll explain it again. I'll explain it again. So can you folks see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Acha.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd explained this in the classroom. I'll explain it again. So this was for, I know it's a bit busy screen, but so this was a problem when we are trying to print uh, V, right? And I explained also for printing W, for example. So there I had said count the gap here. So if suppose uh, focus a bit only on the V and not on the this part. Suppose if you have to print V, and suppose this is what, 1 2 3, how many elements are there? Suppose if n is equal to 5, then 1 2 3 4 5 and then V. So but how many elements are there between here to here? So you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11.
11, sir.
Yeah, so from here to here you have 2n plus 1 elements. So you have to figure it out, that stuff. Then you figure out that this is a leading diagonal, this is a trailing diagonal. Then you figure out that there is a leading space. As I increases from 0 to n, this becomes one space, zero space first. Then you have one. There's no space here. One space, two space, three space, four space, and then whatever, five space, and then a V character. You know that you cannot create this V from these two lines, so you print this separately. You keep this out of the loop. You convert this. That's the reason I've made an. If you see on the screen, I made a human eye. So this human eye is to show that you should learn how to look at this horizontally. You know, that is how the dot matrix printer used to print in older days. That it used to look at everything horizontally. If you look at things horizontally, then you will see patterns at things, right? So if you look at W horizontally, then you will figure out that you have to print two things in one row. Similarly, if you look at this horizontally, sorry, let me copy it in another one. This one, pinboard, copy, new page, pinboard, paste. So, for example, if this is something that you have to print, if you look at horizontally, you will realize that this is the portion that you can print in a loop. This is something that you cannot print in a loop. So if you have for say n is equal to 5, and this is the output 1 2 3 4 5, and then you always print. Sorry for my handwriting. I'll write it nicely in the IDE. So you would have something like whatever, print this into, and this is suppose n. So you have n spaces plus concatenate small v and then print, so that your print this headache is solved. Right? You keep this as a separate line, but before that you have for I in range n, right? Now your headache is to solve this one. Then you think, what are you doing here? Then you write print. It is a plus b plus c. So this is, suppose if a is empty space for you, b is this for you, and if you want to make it even more thorough, then it's a plus b plus c plus d. And if c is again empty space for you, then try to divide every line into this. So this is the core concept of printing V, for example. That can you write, those who are comfortable with linear equation, can you write ax plus by plus cz plus d of t is equal to n? So if you can write 6x plus 7y plus 8, sorry, 6x plus 7y plus 8z plus 13t is equal to 73, then you can solve the pattern problem. That's all that is here. We're just figuring out this. And all A, B, C, D are summing up to be one number. And what is that one number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 number.
So I know. So now you know that A plus B plus whatever is equal to 11. You also know how A is changing. Suppose you use I as a proxy of A, and then you use for I in this loop, I is increasing, right? So I starts from 0. So A starts from 0. Think very cleverly. Think carefully. I starting from 0, A starting from 0. Can I use I instead of A? Yes. What will you multiply I with? This. So can you do something like this? You can space into I. Is it possible? Not possible. Maybe possible. This is a bit of trial and error. You have to print and submit and then look at the red text box to see the actual output and then figure out. Slowly you will figure out. So this, so you are now you're able to give space. And then this is to, there is nothing. You have to always give. Then what can you do? You don't know this space. Okay, let's live with it. Then comes this problem. You cannot write this. This becomes a special character. How will you print this? Those who have used Python and opened some files in their Windows terminal, they would have used R in front of this. Do you remember? If your file is in C, docs, suppose p.py, so you cannot put this in the, suppose you cannot open this file. You have to either use double slash or you have to use R in front, so that it knows to ignore these as special characters. Otherwise, why do we have to do double slash? Otherwise, Python will think slash n slash s. It will think that you are giving a slash command, but you're not giving slash command, na? So what you have to do here? You'll have to either, if you have to print reverse this forward slash, you have to print double forward slash. This becomes, this is used to tell Python to ignore it. Usko jaane do. Then it will not print double slash. It will only print single slash. So this is something that examiner is thinking. And can you see one more thing that I have not used? Just like in painting there's a concept of negative space. Those who are good in painting or those who learn painting, they will know. I have not used E. Why have I not used E? This empty space is also has to be there, no? I have taken, let me use different colors to show. I have taken this space. This for blue thing I have taken A. For this yellow I have taken B. This is for every this thing. Anyway, you don't have to take anything. This is for by default number, so there's nothing taking here. But for C, for this I have taken C. There's no how much space to give. Why did I not take E? Because you don't need to print empty space, na. If you can print till here, you are happy. Yes, no, maybe. Why do you want to print empty spaces? Do you need to print?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Someone says yes, someone says no. So when you are printing this line, do we have to print something like this? Then this, then whatever. क्या ये 11 है ना, तो 1, 2, then it is symmetrical. So I'm assuming 1 here, then empty space here, then 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then around 7 spaces here. So do we need to, will exam check for this? People have got tired, they have to go and sleep. Getting too late.
No, sir. We don't have to check the last spaces.
If the examiner is not cruel enough. If examiner is cruel enough, sometimes you will find they're checking for this also. So be very careful. There is no right and wrong answer here. Answer is depends. Run this one, so ignore E, print till this slash and stop, and then run. If your cases fail, then understand that someone is looking for this as well. Then you have to get right this as well. Then this will become this backward slash plus spaces. If it's not there, then you are happy here. Just backward slash and you're happy. You'll find some previous year questions where they have checked that if there's space after backward slash or not. If there is no space, you'll have cases not passing, because and how many of you know something called as how many of you know something called as R strip? Dot R strip. Show desktop. Tudung happened. Tudung.
Yes, sir. It is,
Yes, sir.
sir,
We know. Sir, it is
string
just used
method.
for to giving the space between the strings.
Huh. So this is so in some cases when you are having a space after this printing this, you will have to use R strip. Suppose you have printed something like this, there is some space here, and you do not want to have space here. Then what you do is that suppose you are using f- for I loop to do something, and you're using for j loop to do something. Then in j check. So suppose j is whatever for j in range m, I in range m, right? Uh, I in range n and j in range m. So just check if j equal to m minus 1, the last case, right? Then do not print space. Last value. When if they're checking that you should not give space, then you do something and then you break. For everything else, you print like give space, and start printing. You'll have such cases coming in, or you just do R strip for the entire string. You print this as one string. That's the reason, in my one of my classes I made this as I, that try to look at everything from horizontal perspective. Don't look at it from vertical or frontal, just like the way you look at monitor. Look at this horizontally. So then, can you store a list which has this, and then print all this element? So then it will print something like this, print something like this. You're printing every element of the list one after another. And then last May you append like this. There are many hacks of solving the same problem. Did anyone get the concept what I'm doing here in the list, in this list? किसी को समझ में आया? नहीं समझ में आया? मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे? लिस्ट के हर एक एलिमेंट में स्ट्रिंग बना रहा हूँ and string को append कर रहा हूँ and creating the structure, and later I'm printing an element of the list. Some people got it, nobody got it. Okay, some people got it. Okay, so I'll stop sharing. I'll go back to sharing this concept, right? So the golden rule of pattern printing, anything like the one that came in NPP, also those who have given NPP, those who have taken NPP, if you have seen that phone unlock problem and everything else, it always breaks down to look at a particular pattern or particular template, then try to look at row by row, and then see how much of this is repeating. If something is repeating, then put it in loop. For example, if you're printing X, then what will you do? You write a for statement. The moment you get to the middle of the loop, you do something, then you continue behaving as if nothing has happened. So you print the V state, or you print the leading diagonal, you print in the reversing diagonal, but you just change your behavior at the center. So you just write an if statement within a for loop. How many of you got the idea of writing an if statement within the for loop for writing an X? Akash got the idea. Oh, the class strength is dwindling like anything. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. We have been running for. I have been known for conducting mammoth sessions for. So 3 hours is child's play, but it's essential is for you folks to have a cup of coffee and stay awake. But anyway, it's fine. Printing triangle, printing all these things is good fun. It's not that difficult. Figure out number of elements. Um, if you are comfortable with linear algebra, figure it out as ax plus by plus cz is equal to something, and then try to figure out abc and assume that xyz is like comma space whatever, and then you feel that you put these values, then you make something. If you trust me, if you can find ax plus by plus cz, they're usually 3 characters at max. And if you can create a string, and you know how to multiply a string with a number to create that long string, and then what you do, it's a very trick way of solving it. Create an s is equal to empty string, dump everything into string, dump it into a list. Is the hackiest way of solving it. Dump it into a list, then just print the element of the list. You would solve the problems, crazy problems, like anything. You don't have to spend so much time writing multiple loops, multiple. So the hack here is to not print. The moment you print something, it has gone out of your hands. Always delay printing. Try to keep everything handy and print at the very last moment. If you are always printing the string, then you are not able to handle it. For example, if you're printing W, so one is falling, the both sides it's falling, then there's something rising in center, but it's only till center. So for the top of half of the W, there are two what are diagonals converging. Suddenly there's one kind of inverted V happening. So suddenly, when that inverted V comes in the middle of the W, then they have four things happening. You have two normal top converging diagonals, then you have a inverted V. So they are like 4 lines you are printing. So if you are suddenly in a for loop, you have to write another for loop, and that for loop will only trigger halfway down the W. It's a huge mistake to print it if you're writing for within a for, because what it will do for most of the students, it will print a top for multiple times. You'll get a very large W. So a good hack, I'm just suggesting, if you folks are comfortable with it, if you have time in the examination hall, print string and look into the actual output, and then figure out where you're going wrong and slowly debug it, and you can solve this. This pattern problem is the easiest problem to solve if you can solve linear equations. Okay, chalo, let's go back to this thing. Start by creating the specific pattern for n is equal to 4 and 5. That's what examination has 1 and 2 and then 4 and 5. Okay, then he has given it the W, what I was talking about. This things, so this is constant, then suddenly this happens. This is easy. This is easy because this W is from the very beginning. So the entire for loop can be same. What if this W is midway? Then the for loop changes midway, and then this comes. Then pattern lock. In pattern lock, you have input dot split. You use input dot split to find different kinds of numbers or special characters, and then you map those numbers to integers. So for example, numbers on map those strings to integers. So suppose you have, I think they gave star and then they gave empty space and they give another one. And they said that if suppose your unlock code is 1, 2, 3, 4, so if the unlock code is suppose 9, 8, 7, 6, so 9 should be 1 because 9 has to be pressed first. So then what it says is that you look up the unlock code. First, you print the entire unlock matrix into a list. That's again when my list approach comes handy. You dump it everything in a list. If you put everything in a list and you don't print it, then the benefit is that you can manipulate that list. Then you can look up a particular element of the list. Suppose look up number 9 and then change 9 to 1. How will you change 9 to 1? You will get the unlock code, right? You take the first unlock code. Suppose unlock code is given as U, is a 4-digit number. Convert it into string. Take the first element. Look it up into that list. Wherever that element is, convert that to 1. Then look up the second element. Convert that to 2. Look up the third element. Convert that to 3. Look up the fourth element. Convert that to 4. Once that is done, then replace everything with empty string. If you do that, you will get something which closely resembles this problem. It exactly resembles this problem. So you actually generate this, you store this. So this is a list element, this is a list element, this is a list element, list element, list element. You look up and you have been given this, right? So you look up 2, do input split or whatever shown in a list, run through for I in this list, look up 2, so say take 2, say then look up 2 in this. How will you look up 2 in this? If C in this, so for I in range whatever, write a for loop. So first element will take this. Within this, if 2 in this, so it will say yes here. The moment it says yes here, then replace 2 with 1 because it's the first unlock code. So you replace 2 with the, you put a count as a variable, or you put the list or index, you play with it. Then the moment this is then this becomes 1 1 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Fine. Then you look up this, then it becomes 1 1 3 4 5. The moment you find 5, convert that to 2. This becomes 1 1 3 4 2 6 7 8 9. Right? And then you do for 7 4 1. So you all change these numbers. Any numbers which are not touched, replace that with blank. This is another benefit of not printing immediately on screen. Keep everything ready, but show it in a list. Whether you are printing V, printing W, and then slowly print it. And the benefit of that is when you print it, you can use something like SEP. What is SEP? Okay, editing is disabled here. Let's take any such example. So what is SEP? If I say print, suppose n, and then I say SEP is equal to how many of you know what is SEP and what is end? Let us see how many are actually awake.
Sir,
No.
and function is a default with print and separate, and sep is a separate function.
Just use source separator, sir.
Huh. So otherwise, the end is always /n. It creates a new line character. So if you want to print in the same line, then you do not, and you do not want new line, then you end with a this. And if this is, for example, in a for loop, and you want the next part to come in after immediately this, then you do not end. You just specify end is not as a new line character. Then you do something like this. And if you want to print like multiple times separated by something, so the point I'm saying is, if you're trying to convert or print any pattern, if you're storing it in a print in a list, then this could be a list. This could be, suppose, L of I, right, where L is this much. This is, suppose, the first element of L, and then you print this, and suppose this has to come here. Then you end with this and you run this loop, this will come here, for example. You can manipulate this very easily, right? That's exactly what CSR says here. Input split, then you have a grid, enumerate, then you have this, then you have this, print this, and then join cells. If I is less than 2, then print this. This is for all those elements where the formats is, when I value is less than 2, then you print all these separators, the format. Okay, the good luck for WP is fine. But the point I'm saying is, instead of looking at a complicated structure and getting scared of it, I think most of the people get scared of this data layout and numbering. Again, look at one row, look at all the unique elements. Unique element is a starting bracket, it's common. So when is it printing in the 3x3 grid? 1. So if you start with 0 index, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means all the odd indices have something common. That means you can write a form, which is a 3x3 grid, right? For a 3, when n or m is 3, you have a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines you're printing, which is 2n minus 1 or n plus 2, anything of that sort. It's more than 3, right? And why is it more than 3? Because we're printing 3 lines and you're printing separators. Separators will be n minus 2. So if it is 5, they will be separators will be n minus 1. If it's 5, then there will be 4 such lines. Look at test cases. See? So we first write a for loop, and then we either start with 1, 2, 3 and print this, and then you have this. Then you again write empty list like this, then you print this. Right? The moment you have till here, then you stop. Because now you have, I think I have this in my VS Code somewhere. 1 second. Let me see if I can show you that code. So the moment you have figured out this part, then you can always append this, and then I've told you how to look it up. Look up to, look up here and change. How many of you understood the concept of storing and looking up and changing order with number? Because if this is not clear, then you will struggle, especially in phone unlock problems. Or how many of you it did not make sense? Please be honest. I can repeat myself. It's not a problem. It's getting late for you folks. I am kind of a night owl, so if it did not make sense, I'll repeat. I'm looking at patterns. I hope people are still awake when they are joined in. There are 13, 14 people here, and I hope apart from 4 others have not put the phone and are literally snoozed. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find patterns within this thing. We're trying to store it somewhere, preferably in a list, and then printing them. As simple as that. Okay. Okay, Shantan. I think the class is tired. We have covered. We have literally covered this the entire course till OPP1. We have also covered um, the doubts. I guess these were the doubts. OPP1 section 5, September 4. These 3 students who have given me these questions, I'll send you the links. These links are anyway there in that buddies page. Pattern printing I have covered exhaustively because I thought this will come as most frequently asked question. Those 3 were the only questions in my topic request form. If you, it's open session now. If you, uh, you are still going wonderful, man. Yeah, Anirban. Yeah, my sessions are usually mammoth sessions. They just go on and on. But if anyone has any questions, please let me know. You can feel there's anyway very few students. You can unmute and ask. I'll be more than happy to solve some more. नहीं सोना है कल एग्जाम है जाने दो. Okay, then maybe from on the behalf of Wayanad House, we'll call it a night. We'll let Shayantan do the honors.
Yeah,
I'll
thanks a
start
lot,
sharing.
sir.
Uh, Sorry for
It
keeping
is
you all
really
folks
wonderful.
for a lot. It was wonderful.
Yes, sir, absolutely. For the beginners,
Yeah.
it was like a blessing in disguise.
Thank you so much. I always wanted.
Wonderful explanation, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I always wanted to solve problems with the easiest approach so that if you don't know complex problems or complex functions, you should at least be able to score 60. Section 1 and 2 should be easy. Just use innovatively the actual output section. Learn to love the red color errors, and you will figure out a way. Just never say die spirit. And I feel that you don't need to learn or memorize function to get 60. And then beyond that, last 2, it's pattern printing. I personally feel it's one of the easiest and fun problems. If you are able to hack that linear equation, uh, and those who are my age or similar in your age as well, if you have seen a dot matrix printer, where it used to be like paper with two hole, like thin long paper with with holes on the sides. We used to put that and put the rollers. It used to print horizontally. If you have seen a dot matrix printer work, so that's exactly what a pattern printing is all about. Even the sari printing, those who have seen sari being printed in a textile shop, they would have seen they print the entire pattern in sari horizontally. So that's exactly how you have to look at pattern problem. Yeah, Akash was saying something. Sorry. Uh, Akash was saying something. I interrupted.
No, sir, I'm not speaking anything.
Okay. Chalo, Shantan, I guess we'll call it a day. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Most of you folks are anyway. Yeah.
Sir,
Or
can you tell like how many questions come in OPP like expected
seven
question?
questions. सात question
Yeah.
आते हैं. It's
Okay,
3
okay,
plus 2 plus 2. So 3 questions. It's exactly same as the ones which are there in the portal. So
okay,
question one will have 3 parts, 10 marks each. So
okay,
30 marks. So 40 marks is then you are passed. And then section 2 has 2 questions, 15 marks each. So that is 30. So 30 plus 30 60. And then section 3 has 2 questions, 20 marks each. 60 plus 20 80 plus 20 100. So 7 questions. So if you are able to solve 5, then which have 1 question as buffer, then you will usually score around 30 plus 40, 30 plus 30 60. You will score 60. So passing marks is 40.
yes, sir, yes.
So ideally, try to. A lot of people have struggled in clearing OPP in the first attempt. So my idea is to help at least get 60, and then try the complex problems OPP2 again. But in OPP2, you will have file handling, some bit more advanced concepts. It's very easy to get 100 out of 100 in OPP1 or get beyond 40 in OPP1. If and I have told everyone who are my students in group 27 or anywhere else, Deepak Tiwari is here, Animesh was here earlier, that always try to attack OPP1 and get the maximum. And that's true for PDSA, system commands, MLP, anyone which has OPP. OPP1 is always the easiest. I struggle a lot in Java and system commands. They are very complex subjects. And for me, scoring very high in first OPP1 was the secret of getting good marks. So uh, if you struggle now, then you won't be able to solve easily VP2. Okay. So 7 questions. Short answer to a
Yes, sir.
short to a question. 7 questions. 3 plus 2 plus 2. Try to solve frequently. Try to submit more frequently, and debug on the go.
Yes,
Don't wait for the end to submit, and just set up or join early and have like the phone thing very properly done. They will look up to your room and there are no books, and don't keep any books and stuff. If there are books, put it like a curtain or a whatever bed sheet on top of that, whatever they want. Like just have paper and water, I think, on table, and you should have your phone in a stand or something in 90 degrees so they can watch you, and whatever, hands on the table. You don't have any Bluetooth keyboard or mouse on stuff. A lot of some simple stuff that you need to take care of, and then your BP would be smooth sailing, and then you would be getting good grades for those folks who are writing OBB for the first time. ठीक है चलेगा
yes, sir.
चलो Wayanad group
Yes.
well over to Shantan so for the closing part and then we'll leave.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, and thanks everyone for joining, and all the best for OPP1.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night everyone. Good night.